Hey, this is Dani. The channel is You and Me Living Free, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to tell the story of how I totaled my van today. And it is a sad story. I have had lots of time to process it now, though. So I just want to say a quick couple of things. Number one, if you've been with me for a while, I'm sorry I dropped off the face of the earth. This is kind of why. I did total my van on the way back from RTR in January 2024. So nobody was hurt, but the van was in fact totaled. And I'm going to share that story today. Everyone who has reached out to me, everyone who just asked if I was okay, who wanted me to check in, everyone who supported me through this whole thing, I just want to say a huge thank you. Whenever anything bad happens, there are always people, look for the helpers, right? That's what someone said. That's what I heard one time. It's like, even when catastrophe strikes, Katrina, the Milton, anything, hurricanes, things like that. When disaster strikes or when anything bad happens, look for the helpers. There are all these positives that come along with these bad things that happen. And I had so much support and so much love from my friends, from people on YouTube, from everything that, from people on Patreon, that I have to say thank you, thank you, thank you. For anybody who's new to the channel, because I do have new subscribers, even since I've been not making videos, I have new subscribers, and I want to say thank you and welcome. I took a year and a half off from my working life from 2021, spring 2021 to fall 2022 to travel in a minivan. And my whole channel up to this point has just been about that entire journey. It's like basics on what I actually did to have everything I needed to live for a year and a half in a minivan, and how that was plenty, and all the great spots I went to and what I thought of them, and the pluses and the minuses and everything, what I thought about budget, how I cooked in the back of a van, everything, how I kept warm in the winter, how I stayed cool in the summer. It is all there in my channel. Thank you so much. And since then, since fall 2022, I have worked for 2 years now at a school here in the Kansas City area, and I'm a marketing and communications manager. So that's what I have done for most of my career, is marketing. So I was working. The pandemic happened like a lot of us. I was like, what does it all mean? There's lots of time to contemplate it. I was working from home, but I didn't have a job that would allow me to travel. And I, was doing a big reevaluation of my life. It was kind of midlife crisis type, whatever, midlife crisis, midlife awakening, however you look at it. And so I went off for like a year and a half in my van. I'd travel for a couple months. I'd go back home. I still had kids at home. My youngest had just graduated from high school, and my oldest was a few years older in college. So I still had a home base, but I traveled for a year and a half. The story is all there. Now we're going to pick up from here forward, and I'm going to start making videos again. So this is the story of how I totaled my van. It was January 2024. I was driving back from RTR. RTR was amazing. The video before this one in the timeline will tell about what RTR means to me. RTR stands for Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. If you want to Google it, it's put on by HOWA, Homes on Wheels Alliance. You can Google it and find out everything about the event for this year coming up and about the organization. They're an amazing organization. You should get to know them. Okay. So I'm coming back from HOWA. It is January. I am past Albuquerque on an interstate, going 80 miles an hour in 3 lanes of traffic. And I hit a red metal cylinder that flew out from the car right in front of me. Now, thankfully, I was following at a safe following distance. I used the old adage when I first learned rules of the road, is like, if you're going 80, you want at least 8 car lengths between you and the car in front of you, right? I was following at a safe distance. I had both my hands on the wheel. That's the only reason this probably wasn't worse than it was. The car in front of me hit it and shot it out really quickly from their back tire, or the front tire, I don't know, from their back tire, shot it out under my car, under my van, and I went over it on the front and back tires and some other places. So the car in front of me immediately starts to pull over. I immediately just get control of the wheel. I safely pull over. That alone is just a miracle and a wonderful, wonderful thing. So amongst all the time, if you watch this video and you'll see me cry, you'll see me process these emotions that I'm having. This is one of the things that I do a lot on my channel, because I do find that people share a lot about where they are and things and how they do things, but the emotional journey to me is just as important, if not even more, is like the kind of existential, why are we doing it? Why are we here? What does it mean? What do I want my life to be about? What's important to me? Those kinds of things and how we process those as individuals, that's very important to me. It's part of my journey. Plus I'm kind of I process things externally, or as I say things. So I process a lot of emotions and things. That's part of why people watch me and kind of what makes me different. So if that is not your thing, I'm probably, probably not the channel for you. Plus I go down all these different rabbit trails and I get distracted, and that's okay, because I decided a long time ago that I'm not going to make videos where I have to put on makeup and I have to make them perfect and I have to be a super duper video editor. Being the best video editor in the world is not my passion. My passion is just sharing things and and uplifting people and giving them encouragement and letting them know that you can do this. If you have a strong desire to do it, you can do it, because that desire didn't come from nowhere. Okay. And I don't know what your belief system is or whatever, but you don't have a strong desire to do something for no reason. There is a reason. And if you really want to, you can make it happen in one way or another, in one form or another. So I kind of walk through all of it. I hit this little metal canister, and I called AAA. They sent a tow truck. I have footage of the tow truck. I'll let the videos I took at the time kind of play, and if I have to break in with information or something, I'll put some text on the screen, or I will break in with another little video maybe. But let's just take it from there and we'll watch it. Okay, so this is just bringing me back to the day a little bit. You can see when these truckers go by, just how fast they're going. It's just, it was kind of scary being there on the side of the road. Shout out to the tow company Taverners who came to pick me up on a Sunday afternoon. And here we go. So I just found out a little bit ago that it's way more than just a rim or two and a tire or two. My van is actually totaled. The little metal tank or whatever it was did a bunch of damage to the underside of my car, underside of the van. And I'm in Albuquerque and I'm at the Toyota dealership, and I'm trying to work on logistics and trying to get it worked out. They're trying to sell me a different van. And I'm like, no, I need a salvage value for my van. We just have it towed to the salvage yard. And I need to get a rental car, hopefully one that's big enough that I can bring most of my stuff with me and just get back to Kansas City and deal with everything. I only had liability insurance on the van because it just wasn't worth enough, so there's nothing my insurance company is going to do. And there's just dealing with things on a lot of different levels, right? So I'm trying to stay level-headed and deal with these logistical issues that I'm having, because when I called the rental car companies all they have is compact cars. Nobody even has a midsize for me. And I really need a decent size SUV or another minivan so that I can take most of my stuff, because, you know, you don't think that you have that much in the van, but then really when you start totaling, like almost every single thing I have in here is essential. And there are just hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth, well over $1,000, maybe 2,000. By the time you add up all the little stuff and just the $50 here and $250 here and $100 here, and it's, I don't know, $2,000 or so maybe. I'm just a wild ballpark, and I have a very low maintenance build. But man, when you start putting all these things in, and you have all your dishes, and you have utensils, and you have you know, a camp stove and a tent and solar, and it's not just those expensive chunks, but even when I start looking at, oh, could I leave the stuff that's in this bin? Would I have to take it? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost too much to replace. I travel really with almost all essentials. So there's the logistics and meeting some problems, you know, there. Like, it's like the first they come back and they're like, you're definitely going to need new rims. I'm like, okay. And then they come back and he's like, no, it's much worse than we thought. Let's go to the table. Like, he's not even going to sit there at the little, in the little comfy chair area, you know, to talk about it. He's like, we need to go to a table. And I'm like, well, that basically tells me what I need to know. And he showed me all the damage. If they fixed everything, it's like over $9,000, almost $10,000. And, you know, I bought the van for $3,500, and I bought it with just about 200,000 miles on it. And now it's got like, I don't know, 255 or something like that. So there's dealing with logistics. There was getting myself off the road safely. That was the first thing. Now just dealing with kind of the logistics and just processing with my brain of everything that I need to do to get where I need to go, and so I can handle this. And then there's just, in the middle of it all, I will just break down and start crying because of the emotional processing that I need to do, because I love this little van. I love this little van. And not only that, I have put so much into every little detail of this van and just making it exactly what I wanted. And so there's a lot of that, and there'll be a loss and sadness, even grief from losing my van. Not having the money to replace it, but that's okay. We'll work it out. We'll get a long-term plan. It's okay. It's just temporary. But there's also just this van, not only what it is to me and what it is that I've put all this into it and everything, but it's also what it means to me. You know, this van represents freedom. It's so much more expensive to be able to travel and feel free when you have to pay for a hotel room, when you're paying for airfare, when you're doing all those things, when you're eating out at restaurants instead of cooking for yourself. This is a way to be on a budget and still feel like I had some freedom available with this van to be able to go off on a weekend or across the country. So it's a lot to process, but I know this isn't the end. This isn't doomsday or anything. This is just me starting to process some of this. And so it's just one more step in the journey, one more thing to kind of work through as I go through here now. And I need to dry my tears and make a few more phone calls, see if I can find other rental companies, or see if I need to get a hotel overnight and see if maybe a rental car will have something bigger for me tomorrow morning, or to start prioritizing what I'm gonna keep out of my van if worse comes to worse. And I know that I could get very creative with the packing. I've got a bunch of garbage bags. You know, I definitely could leave a bunch of the bins and just cram as much stuff as I could in garbage bags and stuff it in every cranny, and really take a lot of what I have, even in a smaller car. So, you know, if you know me, you know if I'm anything, it's optimistic, and sometimes even to a fault. Because I go into like denial. I have such rose-colored glasses on, but it does serve me well. And trust me, I'm not going to let it get me down for long. But I need to process and kind of grieve and actually just get through through my head that my van's going to be gone, and then I won't have it anymore. Yeah, just kind of wild. So, okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the support and well wishes and everything. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, hey, thanks to everyone on Patreon. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Roxanne. Thanks to everyone on Patreon. Thanks to all of my viewers. Love you tons. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.